Good morning, everyone. Let me just double check. You know the deal. I don't get the best service, so I have to make sure that I am live, and it looks like I am. So I hope everyone is doing well. I have a few announcements before we start. I have remotes all over the place. It got so cold. I went out to walk my dogs. Well, yesterday it was sunny, and I kept thinking, oh my God, it feels like it's going to rain. Well, my bones. Other people use the weather, the weather station or the weather app on their phone. I just use my bones. And my shoulder was hurting really bad, and I'm like, I've had like 3 surgeries on the shoulder, and when my shoulder hurts, I always say it's going to rain because my shoulder's hurting. And then in the middle of the night, I woke up and I'm like, my shoulder and my back hurt. It couldn't possibly going to be snow, right? And when I went out and walked the dogs this morning, it was freezing. I grabbed my parka. I still have my scarf on. I had this on underneath of it, and I have a sweatsuit on underneath of that. Actually, I'm a little bit too warm now because I turned on um, the space heater in addition to the other heat in here because this room's a little bit chilly. But I love working out here because, well, look at this. Like, look, and they are calling for snow. I think snow showers or flurries or something like that. Somebody told me. So, and I hope you all can hear me because I did get myself a new mic. Um, so I hope that's working okay. I'm going to push this back a little bit because I'm going to need to make room for the cards, to lay out the cards. So I hope the new mic's working well and all of that. So first, this is a very, very long, belated thank you because every week I come on and I forget. But I wanted to share this, which was a gift from Rhonda Goodall from the Goodall Gallery in Louisville. And this is actually on metal. And it's a copy of a full-size painting that she has in her gallery. And this is called Heartscape Dreamy. So I just think this is absolutely beautiful, and this was a gift from her, and I absolutely love it. So Rhonda, thank you. I appreciate this, and I'm going to put it back there when I am done, so that I actually was keeping it right on my bookcase on the side here, so that I could see it, and then from one of my other friends, one of my neighbors, she knows I collect angels, and this is the second year in a row that she had given me an angel. So I want to say thank you to Brenda for this beautiful angel. And you can see I've been using her. She has a really, really pretty face. So, Brenda, thank you for the angel. And the tower in the back, I told everyone, I think it was last week, was a gift from Whitney. I always love Whitney's. Whitney's like, who wants this? So I'm throwing away. I'm like, me. So usually I give everybody their chance, and then if nobody wants it, unless I really want it, then I'll fight for it. In a kind and loving way, of course. So thank you for those beautiful things, and I want to thank the people that have been um, supporting us, supporting our channel, our YouTube channel. Thank you for supporting the Blooming Lotus Life by Bell's Mountain and the Blooming Lotus Life, and for all the visits to the website. And I'm still working on it, people. It's just been a little bit of a busy week, so I have some new things ready to go on there. So I can't wait to get those on there for you. And I also have another announcement to make that one of our decks is done and um, ready to go to the printer, and a sample copy arrived, and it's looking fabulous. So I'm hoping, I'm not promising, it should be right around the new year. And it's a beautiful, beautiful deck, and you will all going to enjoy it. So I'm glad that's out. And then I have a series of goddess decks that are coming out. So I can't wait to share all those with you. And so let's start today. Let me look at the astrology real quick. Um, I guess it helps when you when you actually pull up the astrology and not something else. Where's it at here? I know I left it open from last week. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, I think today we go into Mercury retrograde. Yes, Mercury goes retrograde today at 6 degrees Sagittarius, and it will backtrack back into Scorpio on November 18th, and then it will go direct on November 29th. So now remember, 2 weeks after November 29th, which will be, let's see, the 29th. Well, there's only 30 days. So 29th is a Friday. So December 11th, or no, I'm sorry, December 13th will be the last day of Mercury retrograde shadow. So December 14th, we should be in the clear. So that's good news. Um, Remember that this is going to highlight because um, it's starting in Sagittarius. It's going to highlight truth, travel, and emotional communication. Expect delays um, all the way around. Travel in your schedule. Maybe clients will be late, or you'll be late. Maybe you won't be able to get your computer to connect, or your Wi-Fi, or you'll lose signal like I've been doing, which cracks me up because when the weather's bad, my signal's good. Fingers crossed. When the weather's good, I have the crappiest signal. I really don't get it. Um, so, and think of old things resurfacing, and it's especially like old conversations from the past, um, and secrets. Of course, secrets coming out because it's going to retrograde back into Scorpio, and Scorpio's about it's the detective of the zodiac. So it digs deep to find the truth, and those two signs, Mercury traveling through those two signs, I really find interesting because Sagittarius is all about the wisdom, um, and then Scorpio is, about the truth, and Scorpio is more secretive, I guess I would say. Um, they don't really like to talk about things until they have all the facts, like until all their ducks are in a row. Where Sagittarius loves to share wisdom, so it'll share as it goes along. Okay, um, but there'll also be themes around justice because Sagittarius does have to do with justice, with the law, um, and storytelling. They're great storytellers, and yeah, karma. Like because the United States is in its Pluto return. I want to say truths coming to the surface that are karmic, especially when it comes to legal legal things and anything that affects the world globally, like um, finances. I'm trying to think of examples. Just anything, and then remember, the Earth events with Uranus back in. Did that move yet? I cannot remember. I've been multitasking so much that let me double check it. Let me look at the chart. I can't remember what the date was. Where you at, Uranus? So yes, it is. It is. It looks like it's on the anaretic degree. It's 29 and a half degrees. So it's still not there. It's going to take a little bit more. Um, but it is 29 and a half degrees in Gemini. So mindful of what shocking, surprising truths and revelations around communication of all kinds, whether it be social media, the news, if you watch TV. It could even be something on YouTube. It could be anything, YouTube and email, just someone in passing, remember things from the past coming out. You might run into somebody you haven't seen in a while and they give you some shocking or surprising news. Um, because I honestly can't. Well, I can and I can't. When it moves back into Taurus, that's a money, like financial things could come up. It could be financial, stepping into your financial power, money coming in. Could be money going out, unexpected expenses. So we have all of that going on. So we have Mars and Mercury um, together in Sagittarius. So be mindful of foot and mouth. So Mercury is 6 degrees and Mars is 3 degrees. So they're within orb. So they're still, just be mindful because Sagittarius can be blunt. And Black Moon Lilith is still in Scorpio with the Sun, and with Venus has moved over there into Scorpio now. So, um, we want to think about all the things that are eighth house. Good morning, Angie. How are you doing? Um, let's see. Let me think about this for a minute. So, Venus is the way we love and value, or what we love and value, and the way we love and value ourselves and others in relationships, and about aesthetic beauty. Um, and Scorpio is the detective. By the way, happy birthday, Ange. You're a Scorpio. Did I miss your birthday? If I did, I'm sorry. Or is it later in the month? Why do I think your birthday's around Thanksgiving? I can't remember. But anyway, happy birthday. Um, if we think about this, um, Scorpio values the truth. So when I see Venus there, I want to say, like, it's like a double truth type kind of energy, because that's what Scorpio loves and values, and Venus is all about that. So we'll see how that plays out. We're in unprecedented territory, so no one really knows how it's going to play out. And then we have the moon in Cancer today, so it's in its home sign, and that's beautiful energy, but it could make you a little bit more sensitive. And Jupiter's there, and that's going to open up our hearts and expand those feelings and um, those emotions. So I would say, you know, stay in flow. Let your feelings out. Just be mindful. Like I said, the angry words. I mean, it doesn't change a lot because we're dealing with some slow moving planets. Okay, um, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Moon are our fastest moving planets. So those things can change on a regular basis. And we have Chiron. Um, how many degrees is Chiron? It's 23 degrees of Aries. So, there could be healing, self-healing. And that is, let me see here. Um, 30, 60, almost square um, Jupiter. So a square is tension. So there could be tension. So there could be things that are coming up that feel uncomfortable, that are just know that discomfort is healing. There's a lot of underlying healing in the energy, and that Mars wants to move forward. So it's going to push through. It's definitely going to push through. So that's that. So let's see what the cards say. And you still on, Ange? Yeah, you are. Let me see if I can get. You haven't seen how big these puppies are. I just had Maverick to the vet, and he is almost 27 pounds. Look at that booger. That's him, and Mystic's over. She's like practically under my chair. So they're a little spoiled. Very, very spoiled they are. So what are we going to start with today? I feel like since the moon is in Cancer, I feel like we should start with something. Let's start with Wodo. And let's see what Wodo has to say. Let me push this back. Make room for the cards. And I'm going to shuffle. Oh. Of course, that one went all the way back under the desk. Let me grab that one real quick. And this it's an 11. It's telling us to hang in there and go the distance. So go the distance. And I like this card in a lot of ways because when we think of the cheetah, it's the fastest animal on the planet. But we look at its surroundings. It's in the desert. A cheetah does not live in the desert. So this could be, and the back end of it is like somewhat fragmented because it's moving so fast. So it's like, if you feel like you're having like what I would call a dry spell, or that you're just something doesn't seem to be falling in place, hang in there because there's some illusion in the air as well with Neptune. So things that don't seem real may be real, and things that seem real might not be real. So could be an illusion. So don't be disillusioned is what I want to say, because it's an 11, it's a master number. And it's also 2, and it has to do with divine feminine energy. But when we think of 11, we think of the pillars, the open doorway to the higher realms, as above, so below. And, he crosses the finish line. Okay? Anybody knows anything about car racing? He's got the checkered flag there. And then there's beautiful colors in the background. There's pink, so we're talking about, the higher heart, and blue. So make sure that you love yourself. And there's stars on the ground. All right? So we want to remember that. And the hind end is fragmented, so it's like, think about pulling all of the energy in. Are you scattered? Are you scattered? Because Sagittarius could sometimes have scattered energy because they get a lot of ideas. They're very creative. And I know we're still in Scorpio season, but we'll be in Sagittarius soon, and we have Mars there. So Mars is wants to move forward, and Mercury is communications in all forms. So that can be creative communication. So that could be bringing a lot of ideas. Okay, so it might be hard to make choices. So many choices, so little time. So if you're trying to create something new and you're not sure which direction to go in, make a list. I want to say narrow down your niche. Or make a list and just do one thing at a time and check it off. Do not become overwhelmed in this energy, because there's a lot of healing, a lot of self reflection going on, and we are in Mercury retrograde. And a lot of people will tell you, don't start anything new during Mercury retrograde. I don't necessarily agree with that. I just always say, double check the fine print, okay? Or have somebody put another pair of eyes on it, because sometimes you can look at things 2 and 3 times. When you're working on something, you go over it, you review, and then it just becomes the same mistake is there, but you're not seeing it, So let somebody you trust. And if it's a legal document, I would definitely have an attorney look at it, or paralegal or someone with legal experience. Um, yeah, so that's that. So let's see what's next. Let's see. And I think it's actually, I know it's this one. Okay, so we got Imagine. Okay, so, but it came out in reverse. So where are you holding back? Where are you not allowing yourself to stay in flow? Where are you not allowing yourself to believe in the unseen and the unknown? It's like you have all these ideas, but you have to let yourself dream. Allow yourself to dream, okay? Because that's where the magic happens. And then there's like a guide in the background there, and he has his staff. And we talked about the staff last week, and the staff helps provide stability. So we are on that anaretic degree, so we may be feeling a little unstable or a little bit on shaky ground. And there's been a lot going on in the world, okay? So remember to allow yourself to imagine. I'm gonna pull a clarity card for that. So what is it we're not allowing ourselves to imagine? I mean, the world can be somewhat difficult right now, especially in the United States. The social climate's not the best. We have a lot of people out of work, a lot of people not getting paid with the government being shut down. So, to the sea. Okay, so what this is saying is to trust. The waters will become calm again. Her head is down. You see, she's found her backwards, her true north. Okay, she's trusting in the divine, and it's interesting because this card, a 7, talks about your personal connection with between yourself and spirit, and you see that face in the background. So we're never alone. So trust in the unseen and in the unknown, and trust in the calm waters. And Imagine is a 2, so it's about coming together, and it is divine feminine energy. So allow yourself to share with others is what I want to say. Pluto's in Aquarius. That's where our personal power is. And that's a very creative, intuitive sign as well. We're supposed to be collaborating people. So if you're not collaborating, get on it. If you've been invited on a podcast and you've never done it before, don't let the fear take over. Do it. Do it. It doesn't, remember the north and south node. North node is in Pisces, the south node is in Virgo. What are we letting go of? Perfection. It does not have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect the first time you do it. If you wait for everything in your life to be perfect before you do it, you will never do anything. And the next one is a 9. Time to go. So what are we walking away from? We're walking away from perfection. We're walking away from things that don't serve us. This is what the astrology is telling us to do, to let go and to let God, or whatever your personal beliefs are. But she's running towards that doorway, and she has no idea where it's taking her, but she's trusting that it's going to take her where she needs to go. And it is time to move forward. And you might not know where you're going, and it's okay. Just go. Because as you hit each doorway, another door will open. You know, ask for what you want. I said this last week. The universe is infinite. Ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want, and trust that when one door closes, another door opens. Okay. I also want to say this. The holidays, Thanksgiving holidays coming up in the USA. A lot of the food banks are asking for assistance because they're not getting assistance, because people just haven't been able to afford to donate. Even if it's just a couple of things, if you could take a couple of canned goods or dry goods, something like rice or pasta or something that has a long shelf life, okay? Like, a jar of tomato sauce and some pasta or some macaroni and cheese. just anything that will help, because you know what? It literally breaks me to see American militaries, families standing in food lines because they're not getting paid. So, and it just kills me to see anybody hungry. I don't think anyone or anything should be hungry. Um, so, there we go. Okay, the next card is a 42, which is a 6. So this is about, 5 is transformation, 6 is forward movement, and it's about creativity, birthing something new. Okay, so this is chop wood. So chop wood is, we need to put in the work to see the results. So just keep putting in the work. The results will come to fruition in the spring. March, April, May, possibly June, um, is when you will see your hard work pay off. But just keep putting in the hard work. Let me double check this card too, because I'm going to say something about, if you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. But I don't really think it's this card, but I don't know why that's popping into my mind. So I'm going to double check it just to be sure. Okay, and this is about being grounded and staying grounded. Okay, there are times when the big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. So consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering soil, and then leaving it be to let nature take its course is an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you into a state of receptivity. Okay? So this is about exactly what I said. So we're putting in the work now. Don't focus on one day at a time. Stay in the present moment. Take things one day at a time. And don't look too far into the future, because that is yet to be determined. Okay? And I am going to pull some cards from the Hidden Realms deck. And let's see what this says. So that was to clarify that. And we're going to bring some more clarity into this reading. I like time to go because that's what we're supposed to be doing after the full moon, is letting go of what no longer serves us and focusing on what does serve us. What are we working on that's going to come to fruition in the future? So, oh, I didn't do my bottom of the deck. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck and we'll do it together. And on the bottom of the deck is Treasure Island. And actually, it should be upright because when I put the deck down, I turned it. So, Treasure Island is about staying in flow. It's a 9, so it's endings, but it's also new beginnings. And the number 9 carries all the wisdom and knowledge of all the other numbers. So this is about staying in flow and manifestation, which literally goes with the chopped wood. Okay. Interesting. The next card is Yang, and this is masculine energy. It is a 1, so it is about the self. Just think about the first house. Think very Aries. Okay. Taking the first step, moving forward. Okay. And this deck just keeps calling to me. So the next card is the Tribe, and it came out in reverse. Where are you feeling disconnected from your family, your friends, your groups? I know myself, I have not been spending as much time on Facebook because I've been spending time doing other things. There are other things that need my attention. It's not just the website or the card deck or the other things that I'm doing, but I have, sick family members. So make sure that with Pluto and Aquarius, this is where your strength is coming from, your personal power. So make sure you make the connections. But be mindful of those connections too. Make sure they're the people that you can trust in your life. And if you question their loyalty or their trust, be mindful, because the next card is by the book. And what this talks about is kind of like universal law. This is saying that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And sometimes we have to follow the rules and sometimes we don't. And this is saying that in this particular case, and because it's an 11, and again, as above, so below, think of being between worlds, the higher realms, two coming together, um, that there are rules for everything in life. So if you're disconnected from your tribe, and maybe because someone hurt your feelings or did something that is unacceptable to you, um, then that would be kind of like the law of friendship, right? The law of the universe, the law of the land. Um, we have laws when we drive. Um, there are rules around everything. So this kind of is very Scorpio. All right. And the next card is co-create, and it's A4, and this is what we're doing now. We're in the process of sturdying up or firming up our foundations, and remembering that we're never alone. We have the cheetah at the top. We have the owl in the middle, and the owl represents wisdom. The cheetah is fast moving, and what are we birthing? This is the egg. What is inside that egg? What is hatching? What are we co-creating new? And understanding that although the cheetah normally moves fast, even the cheetah knows when to rest and take in the wisdom. So this is beautiful. This is actually this is a perfect example of Mars in Sagittarius. Right? Sagittarius lives for wisdom, but Mars there, it wants to move fast, and it's almost like there's a communication. Um, and if you look, the egg has cheetah spots on it. So it's talking again about a collaborative effort coming together. And the next card is new life. And it's a 12, so this is a 3. And this is about coming together. More collaboration. So come together. And you can start moving forward now. It's been, 5 days since the moon. So if you're still releasing, release. That's fine. Take the time to stretch and breathe and just release everything, especially because the moon's in Cancer today, with Jupiter there. It could be a little more emotional, or you could feel rebirthed, because that was what the astrology was showing as well over the last few weeks, that we're all being rebirthed, or something's being rebirthed in some way. Okay, so let's get to this deck and see what else we have. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that as our collective reading, and because that's really beautiful. And I'll pull one card from this for our overall energy, and then I'm going to hop over to YouTube and I will pull cards by sign. So hop on over to the Blooming Lotus Life by Bell's Mountain, and that is Bell. It's apostrophe S MT, because I didn't have enough space to spell out mountain. So the Blooming Lotus Life by Bell's Mountain. So give me the overall energy for this upcoming week. Let's see what this says. Oh, it's this one. It's this one right here. And zenith at the peak. Victory, achievement, and tangible abundance. So call in abundance. And this has to, look at this. It's a 2. It's feminine. It's about coming together. It's red. This has to do with the root chakra. And zenith at its peak. So when we look at the top there, when we think of zenith, I always think of Zenith TV. But You're tuning in. Tune in, turn on. See the throat, the symbols on the throat? This is telling, use that throat chakra, okay? And I'm going to pull out the book for this card and let's get the full meaning on this card as well. All right. Love this card. It's kind of like a red and orange and yellow. So I would say it's the mainly the root chakra, but also the um, solar plexus and the um, I can't think of it. Red, orange, yellow. Sacral. The solar, the sacral, and the root. Okay. Number 2. Victory, achievement, getting what you want, tangible abundance. In the autumn, the harvest reminds us of the nature of abundance and the promise of prosperity. It's a peak moment of success. Be assured that in your own life you are moving toward this very zenith of achievement, creativity, and love. Well, that would make sense with the moon in its home sign of Cancer as well. And remember, Venus has moved over to Scorpio. So, truth in love. And I'm looking at the other card deck. And the other card deck, the card that's on the top, is Loyal Heart. So, there we go. There's your confirmation. Let's see. You've worked so hard. Can you see how far you've come? As you move forward, you can reach even higher, building upon the foundations of your accomplishments. This natural cycle carries within it a reminder to be humble. Nothing remains at the peak forever. The seasons must change as part of the natural law. Accept the fruits of all your hard work inside and out. Be here now with humility and gratitude, and share good fortune with others. This is a wonderful time for intimate exchanges and profound connections. Celebrate this peak moment, then keep moving. More adventures and abundance will follow, so make space for them. So this is really, really beautiful because we're in fall, and I was talking about root vegetables and things like that. I don't remember if it was on my live last one of my might have been my daily dose of wisdom, um, and how we need to stay in flow with the seasons. That it's healthy for us, for our mind, body, and spirit. And this is also saying that, like when we think about it, like the peak of fall, when the colors are orange and yellow and red, okay, when they turn from green to those colors, and yellow is usually the last because like that's the last thing that's left on my trees. There's still a little bit of green, but mostly yellow and brown now. Um, so we think about those changes. So everything has its peaks and valleys. So there's a time for work, there's a time for rest, there's a time to complete something, and then or to learn something, and or master something, and then to integrate the mastery and then apply the mastery. So when you think of all the things that you're working on, don't think, oh, I'm not seeing the fruits of my labor. You are, you're integrating them. Okay? So let's see what else the cards have to say. I'll pull a couple more and then I will finish up with this reading. And it is this one. Letting go of stories. This is perfect. Surrendering attachments, releasing unconscious patterns. This is a 34, so this is a 7. It's about your divine connection, your personal relationship with God, Spirit, and this is exactly what we should be doing after the last moon, is letting go. Letting go of the old stories. Don't get stuck in the old pattern, the old cycle, um, especially with Mercury, because Mercury's so active. And then we have gratitude is dreaming, a 5. The manifesting power of gratitude, the law of praise, and 5 is about transformation. So dream everything you want into fruition. Good morning, Shirley. How are you feeling, sweetheart? I hope you're feeling better. So that is it for today. Shirley, before I hop off, would you like me to pull a card for you? Just give me a thumbs up or a yes or whatever. I hope you're feeling better, love. I really do. I've been praying for you. You know, Shirley, I just looked over. I'm working with two decks, and I've only pulled a couple of cards from this deck. But the other deck, as I'm talking to you, I looked at the card, and it's poised, and this reminds me of you. And it's a 3, so it's about community and coming together and confidence. And oh, you're much better. Good. I'm so glad. That makes me happy. Because when I saw this, I thought, you know, someone that's poised with confidence. It's like pulling all the energy, the healing, because there's a lot of healing energy in the astrology right now. And the moon's in Cancer today, which is very soft, and Jupiter's there, and it's expanding those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we're having. And this she radiates confidence, and this always reminds me of you, especially when you're at your peak. When you're at your peak, like the last card, the first card, Zenith at its peak. I'm not sure if you were on for this or not. So this talks about staying in flow with the seasons, and I used the leaves on the trees as an example. And it's a little bit hard to see in this card. It's mostly red, so it's the root chakra, but there's a lot of red and yellow and orange. So think of the chakras associated with those colors. But this reminded me of you. So I'm glad you're feeling that. I love you too. And you can go back and watch because I'm done. I'm so sorry, but you can catch up. My astrology deck is well, that was a collaborative effort, but um, it's done, and we have a what do you call it, deck, um, like a first run to see how it would look, to see if we wanted to make any changes. So I'm hoping by the end of the year or New Year, so that'll be out. Um, Remember, everybody, the Blooming Lotus Life, um, the Blooming Lotus Life by Bell's Mountain. I'm going to be hopping onto YouTube Live, and I'm going to be doing the pulling cards for the signs. If you want to hop on over there, the Daily Self Care Journal is still available on Amazon. I'll drop the link for that. Um, I think I put a free PDF in last week's video. I'm not sure. I'll double check it. But for the goddess quiz, to find out which goddess you are, if you're an earth, a water, whatever goddess. And we also have the witch's wisdom quiz. What kind of witch are you? Are you an earth witch? Are you a fairy? Are you a, I don't know, there's a kitchen witch? Are you the keeper of the flame, of the hearth? So I love to bring astrology into everything, between the goddesses and the astrology and the numerology. That keeps me busy. So don't forget daily self-care with empowering inspirational quotes for women. I do not have the men's version done yet. Shame on me. Published by Bell's Mountain. So we are doing some publishing as well. If anyone needs help with setting something up or learning how to publish, I can help you with that. And let's see what we can also use this as like a message, a daily message. Okay, so today we got, I express my unique creativity through painting, writing, singing, or dancing, and that is a perfect way to use the energy today. So one side is blank and the other side is lined to keep everyone happy. I'm a doodler and a writer, so, and a lot of people do that. Some people like mine, some people don't. But I have this thing about cubes and squiggles. I have this thing with they all look like little tornadoes, but spiraling up kind of thing when I'm channeling. That happens. And let's see, what else do we have? Let's pick out something. That one's for women only, so I don't want to use that one. Let's pick out something from my 365 days of wisdom. So, perfect. I love this. Value letting go. The one who has the ability to let go is able to experience success. And after that moon, that last moon, that was all about letting go. Remember last week I talked about taking the trash out to the curb. And Shirley and I have had that conversation a few times. So whatever no longer serves you, let it go. Also declutter. Think about, it's not just decluttering the mind, body, and the spirit, but it's about decluttering your space, which I have found myself doing. You know, it might only be one or two things, but start decluttering your space. Make room. Make room, people, for the abundance to come in, and trust. Pay attention to your dreams. Mine have been, ooh, what a ride. Um, More reality in your dreams than in the physical realm right now. And we're learning, we're looking at some of the planets a little bit differently, where, you know, Saturn, which is in Pisces right now, with, um, geez, I can't, with Neptune and the North Node. Um, Neptune was always thought to be the illusion, and Saturn was the structure and the foundation and the father energy, and it rules time. But time is man made, so is it really real? And since there's more reality in our dream state and our subconscious state right now than in our awakening moments, it's kind of like these two planets have kind of had a role reversal, where right now the reality is in Neptune and Saturn is the illusion, because we cannot control everything all the time. And I always say this about Saturn, structure and foundation. And yes, we're working on those things, but it's in a water sign. You can draw a line in the water, but what happens? It fills right back in, right? If you stick your finger in water, the water moves out of the way. But if you pull your finger out, it goes right back, and then you just have the little droplets on the end of your fingers. So think about that. That Pisces is the ethers, so it is bringing the structure of the thought that's being generated in our subconscious to fruition, if that makes sense. I hope I worded that correctly. So, I'm going to send you all loads of love. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed week. So, my babies, that is Maverick. Where are you at, Mystic? Mystic's hiding. Oh, Mystic's sleeping on the pillow on the other side. Oh, no, you can't see her. So, everyone, have a beautiful day. Shirley, we're supposedly, maybe, going to get some snow showers. So, bundle up. I'm sure you've already been out with your dogs and discovered how cold it is, like I have. Loads and loads of love. Prayers for everyone. Please send prayers for all of the losses. We had the plane crash at the Louisville airport, but there's also been so many. Just pray for the world. That's what I want to say. Pray for the world. And again, if you're able to give to a food bank, or donate, if your local church or organization, the Red Cross, sometimes the fire departments are collecting for the holidays. Throw a couple things in the box. I think it's Walmart. Most of the grocery stores on your way out will have a collection box to help needy families through the holiday seasons. We should be doing this all the time, not just because it's a holiday, but even more so now. People are really, really in need. So let's help them out if we can, okay? So have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day and a beautiful week. I'm going to send you lots of love. Mwah. Bye, everyone. I'm glad I caught you live, too. I love you. Mwah.